I believe that Conor McGregor has wrestling. I don't think it's at the level of Khabib. I believe that Khabib will get the majority of his takedowns that he goes for. But Conor's he's an athlete. He shouldn't be underestimated. Yeah, I think Khabib, his boxing defense is not the strongest. And I also don't understand why he doesn't work a lot of jiu-jitsu. If you can take down anybody, why not know how to finish? You know, he depends on ground and pound, and he never finishes anyone with that. You know, it's Khabib's a black belt wrestler. If he adds a black belt in jiu-jitsu to his recipe, he'd be extremely scary.
I actually predicted that fucking Khabib would, I thought Khabib would edge it on 5 rounds. Now I'm sort of going towards Conor.
I think we learned a lot in Brooklyn, the ally came to fight.
We did, yeah. Listen, mate, Khabib's an animal, he's a fucking sick dude. But so's Conor, mate. People write him off because they think Khabib's gonna, ragdoll him. Not gonna ragdoll him. And he's gotta be careful to try and ragdoll him because you come in that distance, mate. I know how it works.
Yeah, 100%.
You've gotta be careful, so that's a fucking great fight.
What are your thoughts on that fight?
You know, to be honest, I think Khabib is just such a machine. It's very difficult for anybody to stop him from applying that pressure on him. But Conor McGregor's been known to be stoic, be really relaxed.
Right.
And as we saw, Jose Aldo came in a little too happy with that face up, that crack. So if anybody can sneak a shot in, I think Conor's precise enough to do so.
Chad Mendes gave Conor problems on the ground, and Chad Mendes is no Khabib.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one thing I would look back. The other thing I would point out is that, for me, I believe in guys being active. Like, Conor has not – he's fought one MMA match in the last 2 years. Yeah. One. Khabib has been rolling over people. He's been making the weight consistently. He's been doing the right things. He's looked good reasonably. He hadn't been finishing anybody, but he's been winning.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I think Conor's a live dog in this. I think Khabib comes at him kind of square. You know, Khabib kind of has that same rhythm, that same style. He keeps pushing forward, and he's consistent. He's tough. But Conor got that sleeper, though.
Sometimes Conor had that sleeper with Chad Mendes, though. And Chad Mendes is a lot. His reach is not as long as Khabib, and he's definitely not as aggressive with the takedown and not as good at ground and pound once you get on top. Well, so I think it's an even fight, to be honest.
The other thing.
What's your opinion on that fight? When you first heard it, where are we at on that?
When I heard it a while ago and didn't think it was going to happen, my money was on Khabib.
Yeah.
After Khabib's last performance against Al, I know Al's a good guy, a good fighter as well too.
Amazing fighter.
I just don't think his stand-up's there.
No,
I just don't.
I agree.
I feel like Conor's just got that left hand. He's fast. He's going to be able to use his angles, his crazy kicks,
his footwork.
And I've always underestimated the guy. And then
Conor,
yeah. Like Eddie Alvarez. Oh, Eddie Alvarez is going to run through.
I know.
Him.
I thought it was a terrible matchup for him.
You know, Jose Aldo.
Only I thought they were just going to go straight with the Tony versus Conor.
Me too.
It's smart for Conor to sit back on that.
Might as well.
You know, he's going to lose versus Tony for sure.
You think?
Yeah. I don't see no way he beats. I just don't see him beating Tony Ferguson.
You see him beating Khabib?
I see him beating Khabib a lot easier than Tony.
Wow, I disagree.
You know, a lot of people say that. A lot of people are high on Khabib. I don't know, man. I just
You've been calling Khabib out since
I've been calling Khabib out for years, bro. Years, bro.
You just see holes in his game?
They know. You know, I know his manager real good, Ali.
Really?
They know. I got the juice for him. So I'm on his head. As soon as you know, he does good. He picks the right matchups for him.
He's had good matchups. I'll give you that.
Khabib's got a lot of holes in his game. You know, his footwork's terrible. His striking is terrible.
But his grappling is tough.
It's brutal.
It's tough.
But you just have to keep moving. You have to keep moving. You gotta not let him settle. I think that's what Tony's gonna do. I think Conor would sleep him. I think he would sleep Khabib.
Damn. See,
I mean, I'm going out on a limb here.
I hear you.
He sleeps Khabib. He stands a much better chance versus Khabib than Tony.
I like his chances more. They're both tough fights. He'll probably be an underdog in both the fights. But I think against Tony Ferguson, Tony does get hit. Tony will play that game and will take, a chance with striking with Conor, which is, those first 2 rounds are going to be a doozy for Tony. Khabib really doesn't mess with it. He's just going to shoot right away or get an underhook on Conor. And then he gets nasty on the ground.
But I think the difference is that Tony kind of approaches the fight knowing he's going to get hit.
Yeah.
You know, even when you hit him clean, he still rolls with it a little bit. You know, he's got that experience through boxing and through a lot of years of kickboxing, you could tell. It seems when Khabib gets hit, he doesn't really expect it. He's just trying to push forward. Those are the punches I think that sting you a lot more. You see Khabib will stop in his tracks because he's coming straight forward. And against somebody with a left hand like that, I don't know. I like Tony's style a little bit better for it. You know, Tony's a little more elusive. Even though Tony does get hit, he moves well with the punches.
He has better distance control. Yeah. And then also be forget, too, if the going gets rough for Tony, he can wrestle.
Yeah, exactly. He can wrestle. He can wrestle really well from the bottom too. He did a lot of sneaky things from the bottom that you just don't see anybody else doing. So I think that's the fight to make right now, if anything, because Conor's going to sit out on it. Conor's going to be smart. Make Tony versus Khabib. Winner fights Conor. And then
you think Conor fights again?
And then I'll whoop Conor's ass at the end of this year.
You think Conor fights again?
Absolutely. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I don't see why people were even saying that he wasn't. Yeah. You know, you got $100 million. You can blow through that shit quick.
Oh, yeah.
You can blow through that shit quick.
Yeah,
you know, he like the I-8. Like, he be moving.
Depending on what you like.
Yeah, he likes to move. And the man's only, what, 27, 28?
No, he's 29 now.
29?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Yeah.
So
you're young.
I'm about to catch up to his ass. Watch, he ain't got nothing but some years on me.
Yeah, you're
I'm
young,
telling
man.
you, boy. Watch.
I think odds are in Conor's favor because it starts standing every round, and unless Khabib can take him down over and over and over again, right off the bat, I think the power is gonna be a little much.
Wow, so you got Conor in this. You think his stand-up is gonna?
I mean, I could be on the fence on this one because Khabib could take him down 100 times too.
Just hold him down.
Yeah, but the Mystic Mac has that little. He beat some good Chad Mendez, Jose Aldo. Like those guys don't get knocked out often.
Eddie Alvarez,
Eddie Alvarez. Yeah, a lot of tough guys.
So if you're a betting man, you're going with Conor.
I think so.
Throwing fists. So I think he'll be back this year to fight Khabib.
Who do you think would win that?
I don't know, man. It's hard to be confident, and he's the most confident guy on planet Earth. So I don't know. I don't know how he would stop Khabib from taking him down and eventually getting him to where he wants to fight. I would probably see Khabib winning, but his left hand is phenomenal, and you cannot take anything away from that thing.
I don't know, man. Yeah, that's tough to say. I think Conor's stand-up is pretty. I think off of I think Khabib can't depend on his, being able to take a shot. Like, he's got to have a little better head movement against Conor. He can't just walk through those. So if he can do that, I think Khabib could win.
When I look at that fight, I think Khabib kicks his ass. I've always thought Khabib would kick his ass. I always thought Khabib would just go take him down and beat him up. I'm then confronted with the evidence that Chad Mendez also took him down but failed to beat him up. I'm also confronted with the evidence that I thought Jose Aldo would go out there and expose Conor and beat him up. I'm confronted with the fact that I thought Eddie Alvarez was going to go out there and beat him up. Even if I'm wrong on those, there's going to be a good and competitive and close match. And Conor just showed us, the real question is how damn good is Conor McGregor? I don't know. The Jose Aldo fight almost worked against him. When you're trying to sit down and give a guy his due, right? Yeah, it puts the belt around his waist. Yeah, it solidifies his name in history. That's true. The Chad Mendez helped with that as well, right? The interim title, that all helped. But he beat Jose so easy and so fast, it was one of those matches where you just go, he got lucky. Good for him, he's the champ, he gets the belt, he gets the accolades, but come on, he got lucky. And there is a piece of that. When a guy is so dominant and so good, I remember when John Jones had to go through this. John Jones had go beat 7 or 8 guys up like it was nothing before we all finally accepted it. Okay, there's just a special talent here. We thought he was just out there getting lucky over and over again. Conor looked like that. Then he goes out in the Eddie Alvarez fight, got his hands behind his back. He's doing all this goofy stuff, and he looks so good at a different weight class and something unheard of, never been done before, that a lot of us go, prove it again. Show us again. So he goes out there with Floyd Mayweather, where he should have gotten destroyed. Should have gotten destroyed to the point, they never should have sanctioned that fight. Never should have even let that happen. 49-0 against 0-0. Goes out there and whips Floyd's ass round after round, regardless of what those judges said. Round after round, he was winning. Took Floyd 30 minutes to get him out of there. Still didn't put him down. 30 minutes. Well, when you look at Conor, you are left with the question, just how good is he? Right? I do agree when you look at it. Yeah, it looks like Khabib can keep up with his conditioning. Khabib can pressure him. Khabib can take him down, keep him there, beat him up. Because we've seen Khabib do those things to so many other great guys. But we've seen Chad Mendes do it as well, and Chad Mendes had a very, very hard time keeping Conor down, and I can't tell you why. Some of those guys are slippery down there. Some of those guys just know how to move their hips. Some of those guys know how to turn and adjust and scramble and get back to their feet. And I'm not sure we know the answer to the question of how good is Conor. I'll tell you right now, I think he's in over his head.